All right, I am back with Scott Carlson, and we're doing rapid fire, where we get to expose him to all his weaknesses.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Okay. What movie could you watch over and over again?
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom or Nightmare Before Christmas.
What are you reading or listening to right now that, that the audience would like, or like inspirational or like motivational?
I read the front of every newspaper app that I have every day because everybody's got a different opinion. I snippet read books because most of the book is not useful to me.
Right.
So I want the 10-second cliff notes. So I often ask for, the interpretation.
It's like the
from
executive
AIs
summaries type.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, especially thinking about the world you live in. That's great. What would you like to be remembered for?
My shtick is I have all this weird arcane stuff in my head, but I can speak human being. So I want to be remembered for, he finally explained it and I get it.
Which I saw earlier today in the podcast.
Thank you.
Not to patronize you, I was like, wow, he did a really good job of explaining that. So thank you. I think that's good.
I speak human.
Who's your favorite person in the world right now and why?
I'm going to think about my grandmother here because I've thought about her a lot. She's 103.
Yeah.
And in Minnesota. And last time I saw her, which about a year ago, she said, I don't even know why I'm here anymore.
Interesting.
And then she said, but she's a very religious woman and she had met a woman who needed to be saved. And she's like, maybe I'm still here because I had use for this person. And when you extract that, it's like, what do I do? Well, doing all this weird technical stuff in my basement or in my office is not useful unless I'm useful to somebody, unless I can actually apply it. And that one comment that she made allows me like, is this actually useful what I'm doing? Because it's one thing to know it, but then to actually use it for the power of good or do something with it is quite inspirational to me. It really is a good North Star.
How would your parents describe what you do?
Yeah, I don't even know what they would say anymore. They would say computer security is what they would say. But what do I put on my LinkedIn? I tell my kids that I help people not get hacked.
What occupation would you like to have tried or were you destined for other than what you're doing?
I have never questioned that this was my thing since I was probably 10 years old. I've never wanted to do anything else.
Okay.
I don't know. That's
good. At least
actually,
you are on your true north then.
When I was a junior, I wanted to be a double major computer science and I wanted to be a neurosurgeon.
Ooh.
And then I learned that it was like 13 years of school to do that, and I gave up.
What did you learn recently?
Well, I maybe realized something out. Okay. Can I change it a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
So I turned 50 this weekend.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. And I was like, what do you do when you're 50? Like, you have a party? So I actually sat down and I thought...
You get balloons.
You get balloons. And I got great balloons for my partner. She did great. Who do you invite to a party now when you're this age? And you can be like, I have 1,000 people I could invite who are all my acquaintances. Mm-hmm. But who's actually my friend now? Been there for 25 years, people all over the world. Like, there's a set of people who are my friends. My Facebook friends, I choose to be associated with them on Facebook. Okay. But I have 20 or 30 local people who I'd be like, I would call you back if you need me. I would answer the phone any time of the day. You are my friend. And I realized that it's important to get all those people together and be human again. I am sometimes introverted. I'm sometimes extroverted. I do this really well. I talk, but sometimes I put my head down and lose myself in my work for 6 months or a year, and suddenly I'm like, okay, where's everybody?
Yeah.
And I forget to check in at the human level. And I think that was the realization this weekend is everybody showed up. They were great. We were present. We had a great party. It was awesome because we had the human connection. And I had forgotten that for a while.
I'm really glad you said that because I'm guilty as charged too. I don't know if it's binary. It's either all introvert or all extrovert, and it's the in-between part's hard for me sometimes.
Yeah.
So, okay. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Okay. Fondest memory as a kid?
Longville, Minnesota. I would go for a couple of weeks every summer, and they finally got to the point where they would let me take the pontoon out to the lake.
Oh, look out.
And so I used to take the pontoon out on the lake and just sit there and read a book for hours and hours and hours floating in the middle of the lake. And sometime along, my cousins would come by and we would go bass fishing along the shore. And, it's probably the best memory is to, as a kid, you have no cares and all you do is get some worms and go fish all day. Yeah. And then somebody cooks for you. That's a great memory there.
It's a good one. Is there something that you're great at cooking?
Leftovers. No, like
Sean, that is the most original answer we've had on the show.
For goodness sake, I grew up in the Midwest. Everybody's got a smorgasbord, and everybody brings a hot dish. And
casserole for those people that aren't from the Midwest.
But if you have 6 or 7 of those, I will combine them to something you will like to eat. So I am the master of, you want to combine a Big Mac with some spaghetti and whatever came from Chick-fil-A, it will be a meal that's worth eating.
That was one of the most original answers we've had. All right, what's the best advice you've ever been given?
There's this guy that we used to work with at Charles Schwab, and I talk about him all the time. His name is Ed Hall. And he had this thing he did where if you would be doing this weird technology thing or you would get yourself in trouble, he'd be like, so you're telling me that if you do this one thing, it'll be fixed, huh? Yeah. Oh, so you're telling me that if you just do that one thing after 4 hours of working on it, it'll be fixed now? Yeah, because I did this. Oh, so you're telling me if you just did that then? Like he would just, so you're telling me until you just gave up and crumpled. And the advice he was basically just keep asking questions.
Oh.
Because that first thing that they say doesn't have all the information in it. So just keep saying, okay, so let me understand. What I just heard you say was this. Is that what you meant to tell me? Mm-hmm. His came out as, so you're telling me.
Yeah.
And if you always question with the right intent, you will discover the information you want, whether you're trying to find fact or truth, whether you want more information to inform or change your opinion. You have to keep asking the questions. You can't just believe what's on the tin.
What skill do you think everyone should have?
That, what I just said,
okay.
Asking questions, right? There's far too many, I believe what it said because it was on X place and so said something. That's not how this works. This is life. Good DYOR. People say it in the blockchain. Do your own research.
Yeah.
Come to an opinion. And you know what? If there's information that changes your mind, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right, last one and then you're off the hook. What was your most memorable year and why?
I mean, the ones that I haven't forgot yet is right now. Like, for goodness sake, I'm 50. I remember today. This is my most memorable. I don't know. I could pick from birth of my children and all these kind of things. But I think the one that I realized I made it was the NSA thing. Like, I was just picked to go do this, and I have a top secret clearance. Like,
that's pretty cool.
I was like, wow, okay. Like, I remember them talking to my friends of friends of friends and all of this weird stuff. And that was pretty memorable.
Well, thanks again, Scott,
Absolutely.
for letting your guard down and being part of Rapid Fire.